Have you ever grabbed leftovers from the fridge, popped them into the microwave, and thought to yourself, I'm making a smart, healthy choice today? Well, what if I told you that very habit could be silently damaging your body? Because shocking as it sounds, some of the most common foods we reheat every day, spinach, potatoes, eggs, even mushrooms, can become toxic once reheated. They may look harmless, they may even smell fine, but inside your body, they're quietly releasing carcinogenic compounds, triggering gut inflammation, and in some cases, increasing the risk of cancer, dementia, or neurological decline. And the worst part? You won't feel it happening. Not today, not next week, but years from now, when your body starts paying the price. This isn't clickbait. This is science-backed. Doctors and nutritionists have been warning about it. And today, we're diving into the 5 reheated foods you should never touch again. And why? But before we begin, hit the like button, not just for the algorithm, but to help more older adults learn these little-known but life-changing kitchen truths. And tell us in the comments, have you ever had leftover spinach, potatoes, or chicken and felt bloated or off afterward? Let's open the conversation. And if you're serious about protecting your brain, your heart, and your longevity, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. At its Better Health, we bring you clear, honest, and science-backed guidance. No fear-mongering, no hype, just the truth your body deserves. Now, let's uncover the 5 foods that quietly turn toxic when reheated. And the first one is probably in your fridge right now. Food number 1. Spinach, the silent superfood turned dangerous. Spinach, the leafy green superstar we've all trusted for decades. It's in your morning smoothie, your lunch salad, your Sunday soup. It's packed with iron, vitamin K, antioxidants, everything your doctor says your body needs, especially after 60. But what if I told you that reheating spinach, especially after it's been sitting in the fridge, could turn this health hero into a silent health hazard? Here's what most people don't know. Spinach is naturally high in nitrates, and that's usually a good thing. These compounds help lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and protect your heart. But when cooked spinach is stored, then reheated, particularly in a microwave or with high heat, those harmless nitrates go through a dangerous transformation. They break down into nitrites, and then into nitrosamines, compounds that have been directly linked to an increased risk of stomach and colon cancer, and even neurological disorders like cognitive decline or dementia. Studies from the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute have shown that chronic exposure to nitrosamines can cause low-level inflammation in the brain, which is one of the leading risk factors in conditions like Alzheimer's. And here's the catch. You won't see it. You won't smell it. There's no sour taste, no foul odor, just a warm, healthy-looking dish that could be quietly triggering long-term damage inside your body. Especially for older adults, this risk is even higher. As we age, our liver and kidneys become less efficient at filtering toxins, and our brain becomes more sensitive to inflammation and oxidative stress. So while a young adult might tolerate nitrosamines occasionally, your aging nervous system, it won't be so forgiving. Let's make this real. Imagine you make a large pot of spinach soup on Sunday. You store it in the fridge. By Tuesday, you reheat a bowl in the microwave for lunch. Tastes great, smells fine. But in that very moment, you may have introduced trace levels of neurotoxic compounds into your system. Do this once a week, for years, and the risk builds slowly, silently, until symptoms like brain fog, digestive irritation, or even worse, begin to appear. So what should you do? Don't give up spinach. It's still one of the most powerful vegetables on the planet. But change how you handle it. Eat it fresh, lightly sautéed, or added to dishes just before serving. Avoid cooking in large batches that sit for days. If you store leftovers, Eat them cold, in salads or chilled soups. If you must reheat, do it gently on the stove, never with high heat or multiple times. By making this one small change in your kitchen, you protect your brain, your gut, and your long-term health. Because the truth is, it's not just about what you eat. It's about how you prepare and respect what you eat, especially when your body has been serving you for over 6 decades. Food number 2. Potatoes, the comfort food that could quietly harm your brain and gut. Potatoes, they're warm, filling, and universally loved. Mashed, baked, roasted, stewed, they've been a dinner table staple for generations. And for good reason. They're affordable, satisfying, and when freshly cooked, they offer fiber, potassium, and resistant starch that can even support gut health. But here's the hidden danger that most people, especially seniors, have never been told. Reheating potatoes the wrong way can quietly open the door to gut toxicity, brain inflammation, and even neurodegenerative disease. Let's break this down. When you first cook potatoes, the starch becomes soft and easily digestible. But when those potatoes cool down, especially if they sit out at room temperature or are stored for too long, something happens. Their starch is retrograde, turning into a form called resistant starch. While this can be beneficial in small amounts, the real risk lies in how the potatoes are stored and reheated. If you wrap cooked potatoes in foil, leave them out to cool slowly, and then pop them in the microwave a day or two later, you may have just created the perfect breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. This isn't science fiction. It's a well-documented food safety risk. And here's the scariest part. Botulism toxins are odorless, invisible, and heat-stable, which means you might not even realize something's wrong until it's too late. Symptoms can range from mild digestive discomfort to dizziness, nausea, and in rare cases, neurological damage, especially dangerous for seniors whose immune and digestive systems are already more vulnerable with age. But it doesn't stop at the gut. New research into the gut-brain axis, the powerful connection between your intestines and your brain, reveals that chronic inflammation from bacterial toxins in the gut can increase the risk of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other forms of cognitive decline. So while you may think you're doing something simple, like reheating leftover mashed potatoes, over time, you could be triggering systemic inflammation that slowly wears down your body's resilience. So what's the safer option? Here are smart steps to protect yourself while still enjoying potatoes. Cook only what you need. Fresh potatoes are always safest. If you do store leftovers, cool them quickly and put them in airtight glass containers, not foil. Never leave cooked potatoes sitting out at room temperature for more than 1 to 2 hours. When reheating, avoid the microwave. Instead, gently warm on the stovetop or in the oven. And never reheat potatoes more than once. Bonus tip: if your leftover potatoes look off, smell strange, or have been in the fridge more than 2 days, don't risk it. Toss them. Remember, your body is no longer in its 20s, and your digestive system, your brain, and your immune defense now require more thoughtful care. The good news is, small kitchen habits like this can make a huge difference in how you age, how you feel, how you think, and how you thrive. Because at this stage in life, prevention is more powerful than treatment, and sometimes it starts with something as simple as how you handle your potatoes. Food number 3. Eggs, a brain-boosting superfood that can backfire when reheated. Eggs are nearly perfect. They're inexpensive. They're packed with protein, choline for brain health, and essential vitamins like B12 and D. They're the breakfast go-to for millions of seniors, scrambled, boiled, in omelets, casseroles, or sandwiches. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Reheating cooked eggs, especially in the microwave, can quietly introduce dangerous compounds into your body. Let's talk science. When eggs are first cooked, The heat causes their proteins to denature, which is just a fancy way of saying they unfold and reshape into a form your body can digest. This is good and natural. But when you reheat already cooked eggs, especially at high temperatures or in uneven heat like a microwave, those proteins denature again. This second change not only makes the eggs rubbery and less appetizing, it also sets the stage for something far more concerning. The hidden danger lies in oxidized cholesterol. Egg yolks contain cholesterol, and that's not a bad thing when eaten fresh and in moderation. But when that cholesterol is exposed to high heat again and again, it starts to oxidize. The result? Oxysterols, oxidized cholesterol compounds that have been linked to arterial inflammation, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, and even neurodegeneration, including dementia and memory loss. According to research published in the Journal of Lipid Research and Nature Reviews Neurology, oxidized fats and cholesterol are pro-inflammatory, meaning they can quietly chip away at your cognitive health over time, especially in older adults with reduced antioxidant defenses. If you're over 60, your arteries are likely more rigid, your liver metabolizes fats more slowly, and your brain is more sensitive to inflammation. That reheated scrambled egg or microwaved hard-boiled egg might seem like a harmless shortcut, but repeated over time, it adds up. Real-life example. Let's say you boil a batch of eggs on Sunday. By Wednesday, you're rushing out the door and microwave one to warm it up for breakfast. It smells okay, tastes fine, but the heat has damaged its proteins, oxidized its cholesterol, and subtly transformed that egg from brain fuel into an inflammatory agent. Repeat this a few times a week, every week, and your body may start to respond, with subtle signs like fatigue, joint stiffness, brain fog, or poor memory. So what's the better strategy? Eat eggs fresh whenever possible. Enjoy them right after cooking. If you cook in batches, store them properly in the fridge and eat them cold. Sliced into a salad, mashed into avocado toast, or enjoyed as a snack with a pinch of sea salt. If you absolutely need to reheat them, do it gently on the stovetop, using low heat to avoid excessive protein and fat breakdown. And never reheat eggs more than once. These changes may seem small, even trivial, but for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, they can make a big difference in reducing the silent inflammation that chips away at your brain and heart over time. Because protecting your brain isn't just about what you eat, it's about how you prepare it. Your body has done so much for you over the years. Let's give it the small adjustments it deserves. Food number 4. Chicken, the lean protein that turns against you when reheated. Chicken is the ultimate healthy staple. Lean, versatile, and packed with high-quality protein. It's a favorite for seniors aiming to stay strong, energized, and nourished. We bake it. We grill it. We roast it in batches and store the leftovers for quick lunches or weeknight dinners. It seems like a practical, efficient habit. But here's the surprising truth. When chicken is reheated, especially in a microwave, it doesn't just lose flavor. It can quietly trigger inflammation, digestive issues, and even contribute to long-term health problems. Let's unpack the science behind it. What happens when chicken is reheated? When you cook chicken for the first time, its proteins denature, meaning they change structure in a way that makes them easier to digest. But when you reheat those same proteins, especially at high or uneven temperatures, they denature again. And this second transformation makes them tougher, more rigid, and less bioavailable to your aging digestive system. If you've ever bitten into leftover chicken and found it rubbery, dry, or oddly textured, that's your cue. But this isn't just a culinary inconvenience. It's a biological red flag. The reheated proteins become harder to digest, especially for seniors whose stomach acid, digestive enzymes, and gut motility naturally decline with age. This leads to bloating, indigestion, sluggishness, and over time, gut inflammation. But digestion isn't the only issue. The real danger lies in the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, toxic compounds formed when proteins and fats are exposed to high heat repeatedly. AGEs are inflammatory molecules that build up in tissues and have been linked to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, artery damage, joint stiffness, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. According to studies published in Nutritional Neuroscience and the Journal of Clinical Investigation, these compounds silently accelerate the aging process, especially in the brain, heart, and immune system. So while a reheated piece of chicken may seem harmless, over weeks, months, and years, it can add to the inflammatory burden your body is already trying to manage as you age. Real-life example. Let's say you roast 6 chicken breasts on Sunday for the week ahead. On Tuesday, you microwave one for lunch. You notice the texture's not great, a bit rubbery, maybe even slightly sour or off-smelling. But you eat it anyway. It's protein, after all. What you might not realize is that this small decision just added a dose of oxidized protein, hardened fat, and possibly AGEs into your system, taxing your digestion, your immune system, and even your mental clarity. Do it once. Not a big deal. Do it several times a week for years. That's where the damage starts to stack up. So how can you protect your body? Here's how to enjoy chicken safely and smartly as you age. Cook smaller batches, so you eat it fresh whenever possible. If you do store leftovers, cool them quickly, store in glass airtight containers, and refrigerate immediately. When reheating, avoid the microwave. Use a low-heat stovetop or oven to warm it slowly and evenly. Better yet, enjoy leftover chicken cold. Slice into a salad. Mix into a wrap with avocado and veggies. Toss into a quinoa bowl with olive oil and lemon. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel tired, bloated, or foggy after eating reheated chicken, your body may be trying to tell you something. Because as we age, it's not just about eating healthy foods. It's about understanding how preparation changes them, and how those changes affect our digestion, inflammation, and overall vitality. Reheating chicken won't kill you, but if you're struggling with chronic pain, brain fog, poor energy, or inflammation, small changes like this could be one of the missing puzzle pieces to getting your health and your life back on track. Give your body the respect it deserves. It's been fighting for you for decades. Let's not make its job harder, especially not with something as simple as a piece of chicken. Food number 5. Mushrooms, the immune booster that breaks down under heat. Mushrooms are often hailed as a superfood, and for good reason. They're rich in antioxidants, B vitamins, beta-glucans, and immune-supporting compounds. They fight inflammation, support brain health, and even have anti-cancer properties. But there's a hidden catch that almost no one talks about. Reheating mushrooms can quietly degrade their nutrition and turn them into a source of digestive stress and oxidative damage, especially for aging bodies. Let's break it down. Why mushrooms don't like reheating. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms contain complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate unsaturated fats. These components are sensitive, both to time and heat. When you first cook mushrooms, the heat breaks down their cell walls just enough to release nutrients and enhance flavor. But when you reheat them, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, these nutrients start to fall apart. The proteins and enzymes denature further into less digestible forms, leading to bloating, gas, a heavy, sluggish feeling, and for sensitive individuals, full-on digestive discomfort. And remember, as we age, stomach acid, enzyme production, and gut motility all decline. So what was a minor inconvenience in your 30s becomes a noticeable burden in your 60s and 70s. What happens at the cellular level? Beyond digestion, there's a deeper issue at play: oxidative stress. When mushrooms are stored improperly, such as in plastic containers where moisture builds up, or reheated unevenly, their delicate fats oxidize. This process creates oxidized compounds that damage cells and increase inflammation. Over time, this oxidative stress contributes to fatigue, immune suppression, accelerated aging, increased risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and neurodegeneration. Studies in the Journal of Food Science and Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity confirm that oxidized food compounds burden the liver, the brain, and the immune system. For seniors already dealing with inflammation, arthritis, memory fog, or low energy, this added strain from poorly reheated mushrooms may be enough to tip the balance. A real-life example. Imagine this. You made a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner, with fresh cremini and oyster mushrooms sautéed in olive oil. You store the leftovers in the fridge in a plastic container. The next day, you microwave a bowl for lunch. But the mushrooms are now rubbery, a little slimy, with a muted flavor and a weird texture. You eat them anyway. What you just consumed isn't the same dish from the night before. You've now taken in degraded proteins, oxidized fats, and possibly inflammatory compounds that your digestive system now has to process, slowly, painfully, and inefficiently. And over time, these microstresses can add up. They may not cause disease by themselves, but they accelerate the decline your body is already working hard to slow down. So what should you do instead? You don't need to give up mushrooms. You just need to treat them with a little more care, especially as you age. Here's how. Cook only what you'll eat fresh. Mushrooms don't store well once cooked. If you must store leftovers, use sealed glass containers. Refrigerate promptly. Eat within 24 to 48 hours. If reheating, use low heat on the stovetop, not the microwave. Reheat only once. Better yet, enjoy them cold in. Salads. Grain bowls. Cold pasta dishes with olive oil and lemon. When mushrooms are reheated properly or avoided altogether in leftover dishes, you protect their benefits and reduce your body's exposure to avoidable stressors. Small changes, long-term impact. Reheating mushrooms may seem like a trivial decision, but for a senior already managing fatigue, joint pain, or brain fog, it's one more drop in the bucket of oxidative stress that your body must handle. And over the weeks, months, and years, that drop becomes a wave. By skipping the reheated mushrooms, or reheating them right, you lighten the burden on your digestion, immunity, and brain. You honor your body's natural limits. And you give yourself a better shot at aging with clarity, strength, and ease. Conclusion: what you reheat today can shape your health tomorrow. We began this video with one simple question. Is your microwave reheating something harmless or silently harmful? And now, you know the truth. 5 foods: spinach, potatoes, eggs, chicken, and mushrooms, each loaded with nutrition when fresh, can transform into sources of hidden stress when reheated the wrong way. Not because they're bad, but because heat changes everything. Nitrates in spinach turn into nitrosamines, compounds linked to cancer and cognitive decline. Potatoes become breeding grounds for neurotoxins when cooled improperly and reheated in foil. Eggs, once rich in clean protein and brain-nourishing choline, may produce oxidized cholesterol that inflames your arteries. Chicken, when repeatedly heated, forms ages, compounds directly linked to dementia and heart disease. And mushrooms, delicate, powerful, and protective, become oxidative stress bombs when mistreated. Each of these changes is invisible. You won't taste the danger, but your gut, brain, and immune system feel it, slowly, quietly, and relentlessly. This is not about fear, it's about wisdom. You've carried your body for 60, 70, even 80 plus years. It's served you loyally, beating, breathing, healing. And now, more than ever, it deserves your care. Not just in what you eat, but how you prepare it. Because aging doesn't mean fragility. It means mastery. Mastery of your kitchen. Mastery of your routines. Mastery of the small daily choices that build or break your long-term health. So the next time you're about to reheat that foil-wrapped potato or microwave yesterday's chicken, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me age with strength or silently stealing it? Now it's your turn. What shocked you the most in this video? Was it the spinach? The eggs? The bacterial risk in potatoes? Tell us in the comments. We read every one. And if you've made it this far, that tells us one powerful truth. You care. You're not just trying to live longer, you're trying to live better. So before you go, hit the like button, not for us, but for your health and the seniors out there who deserve this truth. Subscribe to It's Better Health and turn on notifications because we're here to protect you with science-backed insights and real solutions. Never fear tactics or fluff. And share this video with someone you love because the smallest change in how we reheat our food could be the biggest gift we give to our future selves. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember, your body deserves better, and it starts in your kitchen.